Hello everyone, and welcome back to another remote sensing lecture video. And in this lecture video, I want to talk about error. Specifically, error in remote sensing data. And so up to this point, right, we've talked about the remote sensing data structure. We've talked about what's actually being measured by a satellite in terms of optical remote sensing. We've talked about the idea of the spectral profile. We talked about the ways that energy can interact with matter. And we've kind of glossed over this idea that we're dealing with data. And just like anything in the world, right, there's going to be error. And with remote sensing, what we can do is we can try to figure out where some of these errors are coming from and then figure out ways to help address them so that the data that we download and the data that we use is as accurate as possible. And so what I want to do in this video is I want to just overview sort of conceptually what we're going to be talking about in this module. So we're going to be talking about, generally speaking, two types of error. We're going to talk about error in terms of radiometric. Right, radiometric error. So this is going to be errors in the pixel values. We're going to talk about, in terms of radiometric error, we're going to talk about sensor error. Sensor error. We're going to talk about terrain error. And we're going to talk about atmospheric error. With a special attention paid to clouds. All right, so we're going to talk about radiometric error, which is errors in the pixel values. So that's the thing that's actually being recorded. And then we're going to talk about something called geometric error. And geometric error has to do with errors caused by the pixels being in the wrong location. Right, errors caused by pixels being in the wrong location. And so what we're going to talk about in terms of geometric error is we're going to talk about something called location error, which sort of intuitively makes sense. We're going to talk about something called the root mean square error, which is a way that we measure location error. And then we're going to talk about something called terrain displacement. Which has to do with the geometry between the sensor and angles or terrain, right, occurring on the Earth's surface, and see how this can cause some errors in the location of things in the image. So again, just to sort of review, we're talking about two types of error, radiometric and geometric, and we're talking about how those different types of error are broken down. And within each type of error, we're going to talk about what we can do or some approaches we can take to help to reduce those errors. And we're going to wrap up talking about this idea of resampling, which is the idea of, once we've addressed some of these errors, how do we determine the new pixel value? So again, outline, geometric and radiometric error. We're going to talk about the different types, and then we're going to end up talking about something called resampling. So if any of this doesn't make sense, that's okay, because we're going to go through each thing in more detail. But as always, if you do have any questions, please reach out. Thank you.